Now this is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. I wasn't planning to come on here and do an episode of Keek on the Mic today, but then I ran into this very interesting report, and I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about it and have a fun conversation with you guys about this topic, because the report out of Chicago is this. ESPN Analyst says it's impossible to evaluate Justin Fields. And obviously, Justin Fields is currently in his second NFL season, and it has been far from perfect. He is currently only completing 50.7% of his passes, with 2 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions to go along with his 471 yards. So it has been a very rocky start for Justin Fields and this Chicago Bears offense. But according to ESPN analyst Ryan Clark, he thinks it's impossible to evaluate Justin Fields this season due to the team's situation. This is what he had to say. You can't evaluate a quarterback if you don't feel like you put him in a position to succeed. Justin Fields is in the worst position of any quarterback in the entire NFL. And Bears fans, this is really tough to hear. And obviously, I've come on here a lot and defended Ryan Poles' moves that he did in the offseason. And obviously going into the season, I was very optimistic about this Bears team. But at the same time, even though it's tough to hear, Ryan Clark is absolutely right. It's totally true. Obviously, every team has their expectations for their football team, and every fan wants their team to be good going into the season. But the truth of the matter is, after 4 games, I can agree with Ryan Clark's statement that Justin Fields is in the worst situation. And let me get this straight. The Bears are 2-2. And that is really good, because there was a lot of people out there going into the season saying the Bears weren't going to win any games this year, right? But we do have to understand that 2-2, right? It's good for the Chicago Bears because there's no expectations for them, but they have been far from perfect. Obviously, they're a young team. I know a lot of Bears fans are saying that this is a developmental year for Justin Fields and a developmental year for all the young players on the team. But you have to think about what Ryan Clark is trying to say, and we all have to come to the conclusion that Ryan Poles didn't do a lot to surround Justin Fields with enough talent, right? And I think that's just proof in the pudding after watching all these games of the last 4 games to start the Chicago Bears season. For example, the offensive line is still shaky, especially in pass protection, and then we just lost Cody Whitehair, so that's obviously not good. And here's a stat that I want to throw out to you guys. Fields was under pressure for 50% of his dropbacks yesterday against the New York Giants. Really think about that. What is Justin Fields supposed to do? Because I know there's a lot of Bears fans and people on the outside looking in saying, you know what, Justin Fields could have did this. Justin Fields could have did that. He was under pressure on 50% of his dropbacks. What else do you want him to do? Yes, he missed a couple of open receivers, right? But when you're constantly under pressure and you're trying to learn a new offense, it's tough, right? He's a young player. He has no one. It's tough. So we can't sit here and blame it all on Justin Fields, right? And obviously, another stat I want to throw out to you guys, especially yesterday against the New York Giants, when the offensive line actually gave Justin Fields time, where he actually had time to throw. He went 10 for 14, 168 yards. Interesting, huh? I just want to throw that stat out there to you. To add to this, no receiver for Justin Fields has really stepped up on a consistent basis, right? And he's basically throwing to nobody. And obviously, like I said, I've come on here before. Earlier in the offseason, I was optimistic about Darnell Mooney being the wide receiver #1. I was optimistic about maybe Equanimeous St. Brown stepping up, which I feel like he has. You know, Equanimeous St. Brown is a pretty good receiver, but he's not a #1. He's not a #2. Equanimeous St. Brown is more like a #3 or 4, right? But right now, he's playing wide receiver #2. Then you have guys hurt like Byron Pringle. Velus Jones is still rehabbing, coming back, and ramping up to hopefully be a vital piece to this offense, right? So right now, Justin Fields is basically throwing to nobody because no one is really stepping up for him, right? You saw yesterday against the Giants. Beautiful throw down the sideline to Dante Pettis. Pettis was in the perfect situation, and he flat out drops the pass, right? So no one's really stepping up for Justin Fields. And obviously, the run game is going good, right? When David Montgomery comes back, he looks good. Khalil Herbert has looked pretty good. But defenses are starting to realize that's all the Chicago Bears can do is run the football. And they're going to make Justin Fields and these pass catchers beat them. So that's what we have to consider as well. So, yes, after really thinking about it and being realistic, and I know most of the time I'm optimistic, I'm positive, and this is me not being negative on the Chicago Bears. But we do have to realize that Justin Fields is in a bad situation, right? And I agree with Ryan Clark that you can't really judge Fields until Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears build around him and give him the necessary pieces to succeed. Build up that offensive line, right? Give him some more big playmakers on the outside, right? Maybe give him a new tight end. You have to consider all those factors before we sit here and just flat out judge Justin Fields. And once again, Justin Fields still has a lot of growing up to do. But we do have to understand that this season was not about winning. And I think that's where some of us kind of got lost in translation, right? And I've even got lost in that vortex of, well, yeah, I think the Bears can be really good, but then I had to come back down to earth and be realistic, right? And say, well, I do have to understand that this is a developmental year, right? This is a year of rebuilding, getting rid of those bad contracts, letting the young guys play. And you know what? I'm not sitting here complaining about the 2-2 record. I'm really happy that the Chicago Bears are 2-2. But what I want us to do now, Bears fans, is I want us to tamper our expectations on Justin Fields. I want us to tamper our expectations on the Chicago Bears offense. And I want us to tamper our expectations on the Chicago Bears. Because what we have to realize that the Bears are not winning the Super Bowl this year. We are far from that. And I think yesterday's game against the New York Giants proved that. That was a very winnable game for the Chicago Bears, but they didn't execute. The offense is not there. Justin Fields is not there. But at the same time, Ryan Poles is still trying to build this team. And we all knew this. We all knew that he was not going to be able to build this team in just one offseason. So until we start adding players that can actually help Justin Fields, we have to tamper our expectations on Justin Fields. So Ryan Clark, yes, it hurts for him. It hurts for Bears fans to probably hear that, but he is telling the truth. And a lot of different analysts have been saying it all offseason long, but that is just their opinion. You don't always have to agree with their opinion. But you know what? I respect Ryan Clark's opinion because after watching 4 games, he is absolutely right. And it's okay to be optimistic. I'm not sitting here saying that Justin Fields is a bust, because I don't think he's going to be a bust at all. I think Justin Fields is going to be all right. But until Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears add pieces around him, we have to tamper our expectations, take a step back, and just let the young man play. Yes, of course, the playmakers need to help him out. Luke Getsy needs to help him out. There's a lot of moving parts of this. Everyone needs to do their part, right? But once again, until Ryan Poles adds players around Justin Fields, we have to tamper our expectations on Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. The good thing about this, Bears fans, yes, we are rebuilding. Yes, at the moment, Justin Fields is in probably the worst situation in NFL. But the Bears will get better. Justin Fields will get better with time. And the best part about this is the Bears are sitting on $100 million in cap space in 2023. So Ryan Poles will add pieces around Justin Fields to not only help make Justin Fields better, but make the Chicago Bears football team better. But let's understand that this was not supposed to be a winning year. We should all be very excited about the 2-2 start, but at the same time, when the Bears struggle this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball, we can't sit here and be mad because we should have expected this. We should have known that this was coming. But I just think it took us a while to realize that, because we are prideful fans, and it's okay to be a prideful fan. But with time, the Chicago Bears will get better, and it will be a beautiful sight to see. So before I let you guys go, I want to ask you guys this question. How do you guys feel about Ryan Clark's comments on the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields? Let me know down below in the comment section. I cannot wait to hear from you. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.